Mr. E.G. Price told me he installed 3 phones for convenience because his wife is bedridden and he is crippled. One phone was installed by Southwestern Bell. The other 2 he bought in Texas several years ago. Since he owned 2 of them, he shouldn't have to pay a monthly rental fee on them to Southwestern Bell, right? Well, phone officials making service calls discovered one of those 2 phones Mr. Price bought was a Bell telephone and one wasn't. You cannot buy a Bell telephone.
That's what they said. Said I could not buy it or not for sale, that I was in possession of stolen property and I was responsible for it.
Well, Mr. Price couldn't afford a higher monthly phone bill, so he gave the Bell phone back to the company. Now he just pays rent on one Bell phone and no rent on the phone he bought made by a different company. So if someone tries to sell you a Bell phone that you would find in a home, don't buy it. They are not for sale. You can only rent them from Bell at present. However, you can save money by purchasing your own telephone. Monthly rental rates included in your bill range from about $1.50 a month for the standard desk phone with a rotary dial up to about $4 a month for the trim line. Now, Bell doesn't sell those phones to the public, but they do sell designer phones. Other companies' phones are available at department and electronics stores starting around $30. Already in New York, the phone company is selling the phones in the homes to the customers at reasonable rates. Look for that program to start here in the near future. What you save on monthly rental fees to Bell would pay off the phone in a couple of years, and it would keep your phone bill lower while local phone rates go up, as they are expected to do. I'm Brad Edwards, in your corner.
What we do is we look around the doors to make sure that
It'll cost you $15 for OG&E's home energy audit. They call it ECHO, which stands for Energy Conservation Helps Oklahoma. If you apply for it, OG&E sends out an expert to examine your home for attic insulation, weather stripping, storm windows, central heat and air efficiency. Well, after the audit, they feed that information by phone into a computer, which analyzes the information and sends back suggestions for saving energy. It tells how much the improvements would cost and how long it would take to recover those costs through lower electric bills. OG&E even throws in a package of caulking, weather stripping, and shower flow restrictors. Now, Oklahoma Natural Gas has a similar program, but OG&E is a little more excited about it because they claim saving electricity now may save them from building a new expensive power plant. In fact, if you follow conservation suggestions, OG&E will pay $200 per kilowatt saved to customers with central air conditioning. It's a program worked out between the utilities and the State Corporation Commission, which decides such things as utility rate increases or the need for building new power plants. While Corporation Commission and OG&E are asking you and me to save a kilowatt here and a kilowatt there, there is no such energy audit program as yet for business and commercial buildings. On top of that, statistics show over the last year, 40 new office buildings began construction in the Oklahoma City area. Now, whether all of those are needed or not is another question, but there is no question it will help increase the need for power, which will increase the need for another power generating plant, and that could mean higher electric rates. So that makes home energy conservation all the more important right now. It may be the only way you and I can fight rising electric rates in the near future. I'm Brad Edwards, in your corner. Equal just reached the Oklahoma City market in recent weeks, and it's selling out quickly. It's a substance called aspartame and is said to be 200 times sweeter than sugar. It contains no saccharin. That's a welcome thought to many people who can't use sugar and were frightened by reports that saccharin in large doses causes cancer. Well, what's the difference between equal and saccharin sweeteners? I asked Dana Burnett, a dietitian at Oklahoma Children's Hospital.
Some people are watching their salt intake or cutting down on sodium for their blood pressure. Saccharin has sodium in it, and this equal or aspartame doesn't have any sodium. There are just 2 groups of people who really shouldn't use it. One is infants, because their systems just are not ready for anything like that. And the other group is a small portion of the population that have a condition called PKU. And they
Another difference is taste. Equal is said to be much more like sugar, so we conducted our own test using expert coffee drinkers from our staff. 2 of them use sugar in their coffee, 1 uses a Saccharine product. We gave each 2 unmarked cups, 1 with Equal and 1 with Sweet and Low with Saccharine.
The second one is sweeter, but I don't know if I prefer this or not.
Oh, it's definitely a lot sweeter.
It is.
Well, all 3 thought the second cup tasted almost too sweet. That, we revealed, was Sweet and Low, the Saccharine product. The first cup, which contained Equal, they thought was more like sugar, confirming Equal's claims. Although the 2 sugar users still could tell the difference between Equal and real sugar. Now, those who need non-sugar sweeteners may find Equal to taste better, but they'll also find it more expensive. Equal cost about 3 times more than Saccharine and 50% more than real sugar. I'm Brad Edwards, in your corner. Well, let's face it, your dog or any pet is a part of your family, and you want to make sure that it's well taken care of when you go on vacation. Traditionally, those who can't pawn their pet off to a neighbor or relative takes it to a kennel, and here's what you get, at least at Ann's Country Club for Pets.
Each dog has an individual indoor-outdoor run, and the runs are heated and air-conditioned. And we cater to pampered house pets. Each pet has a rug, and all of the dogs are required to have current immunizations, and we do keep in touch with everyone's vet.
And Melanie says they give the dog lots of love and attention, all for $5.50 to $7.50 a day, depending on the pet's weight. But you say your dog doesn't do well in a kennel? Now comes Doggie Watch. Shirley Campbell will take care of your pet or pets at your home. So what would you do? Let's say I had a dog, a cat, and a parakeet.
Okay, for $12 a day, we'll come in and take care of their cages and walk the dog, walk the cat, whatever it needs to be. We let you fill out what you want done, and we take care of that service hopefully within an hour's time. But if it takes more, we'll take all the time that's necessary. In a kennel, they're taken out of their home and out of their familiar surroundings, and this way they can stay at home.
Shirley has liability insurance, and her staff is bonded in case anything should happen while you're gone. It'll cost you $5 to $7 more a day, but for some pet owners, it'll be more convenient, especially if you're leaving your dog home to guard the house. I'm Brad Edwards, in your corner.
But if it takes more, we'll take all the time that's necessary.
Halloween is the one time of year people intend to be ridiculous and are willing to pay for it. But how much? This year it seems everyone wants to look like that now famous movie Martian, E.T. Just to get this E.T. mask, it'll cost you almost $70. Getting the costumes is more difficult because of copyright laws, so you'll find few costumes unless you're willing to make one yourself. The McCall Pattern Company has the exclusive contract to produce E.T. patterns, and they just went on sale October 1st for $4. That's the pattern. Next, you have to buy material.
The mother shopping now can expect to have prices from $3.33, which is the fleece that we have on sale, to $4.98 to anywhere from $6.97.
The patterns are for children but can be adapted for adults. But the total will cost you about $24 to be E.T. Now for that same price, you can buy another ready-made costume.
Halloween can be very inexpensive or it can be fairly expensive. We have all price ranges. We have things that we sell. It can be, you know, we can make it really economical and still have a lot of fun with it.
To buy a costume this year, you'll spend anywhere from $15 to $40. Children from about 15 to 22. Renting is a less permanent but convenient way to go. You can dress as a little Daisy for $30, about the same for a little devil. The witch's costume is $30, while the Satan's outfit is $50. Or perhaps you'd like to try the dance hall girl. That runs for $60, minus the girl. I'm Brad Edwards in your costume corner. In Your Corner receives an occasional complaint of slow mail in Oklahoma City, so we decided to check it out and make the test as difficult as we could. I addressed 5 envelopes to myself and to my home address. I marked 1 southeast, 1 southwest, 1 northeast, 1 northwest, and 1 main, because I intended to mail the letters from the 4 quadrants of Oklahoma City, as well as the main post office downtown. And as I said, I sent them all to my address near the downtown area. Not only that, but we mailed them late Friday afternoon on a holiday weekend just to make it tougher, because the post office would be closed the following Monday, Columbus Day. Well, I mailed 1 letter from North Park Mall on Northwest May and 122nd Street. Another from a mailbox on Southwest 59th and South May. Then I mailed a 3rd letter at a shopping center on Southeast 29th Street near Del City. And a 5th letter I mailed at the main post office in downtown Oklahoma City. The last one I mailed at a shopping center on Northeast 36th Street near Kelly. Well, that was all late Friday afternoon, but early Saturday morning, 3 of those letters arrived at my address, the ones from the main post office, the Northwest mailbox, and the Southeast mailbox. Well, the last 2 letters were delivered on Tuesday, the day after the holiday. They were the ones mailed from the southwest and the northeast parts of town, but they were also the ones mailed after the posted pickup times, and that seems to be the key. Check the pickup times on the mailbox. The post office says their goal is 95% overnight delivery, and they say they normally meet that goal. And judging by our little test, if you get your letter in by 5, it should be out by tomorrow. I'm Brad Edwards, in your corner. It's a popular place to go, especially for Oklahomans who are so close to Mexico. And it's even more tempting since the economic troubles there devalued the peso. Your dollar's worth about 40% more in Mexico. But travel agents say there are some precautions you should take before signing up for a trip.
They are having a problem with the economy, and when a hotel is having a problem, it seeks help from the banks, and the bank are owned by the government. They seek help from there. The government is left to run them. You cannot expect somebody that is not operating at a profit to refund your money. I think you should only prepay what you feel very safe in prepaying, knowing that you will utilize it, not that you might have to cancel it and expect a refund.
Travel agents say they're having trouble reserving blocks of seats on airlines and difficulty getting confirmation on hotel reservations in resort cities. Everybody has to be patient. They also say exchange your money to pesos only for what you need or expect to spend, because it's difficult to change pesos back to dollars. Any rumors of civil unrest in Mexico appear to be just rumors. The U.S. State Department says no reports of trouble or danger to tourists. Just remember, if you book a tour to Mexico and have to pay in advance, make sure you can go, because you might not get a refund. I'm Brad Edwards, in your corner. When you find that used car or truck that When you find that used car or truck that catches your eye and you decide to buy, one of the first questions you ask is how many miles does it have on it? That gives you an idea of how much life is left in the car and how much maintenance it may need. But what if some unscrupulous person rolled back the mileage? Then you could be deceived. A federal law made this illegal, but enforcement was flimsy. Now a state law, which started October 1st, beefs it up, calling for enforcement by the district attorney's office. The law requires dealers and private citizens as well selling a vehicle to give a statement to the buyer.
They must certify what the mileage is. If it's over 100,000, they must certify that. They must also certify that they have not altered or changed this odometer, or if it has been repaired, there's a block for that. If they have the intent to defraud, under the Oklahoma statute, the fine is $1,000 or a year in jail, or both.
Oklahoma's Used Motor Vehicle Commission says they get 25 complaints a month about odometer mileage rollback. Now, how do you tell if your odometer's been rolled back? Well, the commission says a first clue might be low mileage on the odometer, but a lot of wear and tear on the car seats, the tires, or the brakes. They say another good clue is the numbers on the odometer itself. If the numbers don't line up almost perfectly across, it's a good sign that they may have been tampered with. The numbers may have been rolled back. All of this will help prevent you from being ripped off, but the best hope is that Oklahoma will fall into line with surrounding states and require that the mileage be listed right on the car's title. I'm Brad Edwards, in your corner. For almost a decade, everyone ranging from the government to the utility companies has been telling you to insulate your home. You'll save energy, keep home heating and cooling costs down. But did anybody ever tell you it might be hazardous to your health? Some medical reports say Americans are paying billions of dollars for chronic respiratory problems because of indoor pollution.
We now are, in essence, sealing our houses like a refrigerator. In the 60s and before, maybe just in general terms, the airflow through a house, we'd describe it as maybe 1.5 air changes per hour. With these super insulated homes, the air changes may be more on the order of 0.2 of an air change per hour, and that is inadequate from a health standpoint.
Dr. Calvert says if you have a super insulated home, you may need to open up the doors or windows for about a half an hour just to let the bad air out and the good air in. Why is that? Because super insulated homes don't allow the buildup of gases and fumes to escape from your house. For example, wood byproducts contain formaldehyde, so do the materials in your carpets. The expensive heat exchangers are not very common here, but they can help bring in fresh air. In the summertime, an attic fan can help, or a window air conditioner. But if the trend toward super home insulation continues, someday instead of inspections for airtight insulation, we'll be having home inspections to see if we have space to let in fresh air. I'm Brad Edwards, in your corner.
Well, when I put the bowl in the microwave with the can of soup and the half a can of water, it went, instead of doing a little bubble like they usually do for boiling, it went plop, 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 plop.
Charlotte says she should have known then there was something wrong with her soup, but it wasn't until she began eating it that she found 2 small metal screws in her mouth.
I was lucky. I felt it on my tongue and the roof of my mouth before I swallowed it or before I tried to chew on it.
Yeah.
And that's about all I can tell you is that I thought maybe they would come up and find out just about concern about their product, but they wanted me to do all the work.
Do you know what this is? It's a part from a truck engine, the points. It, along with some oil, was found in a large bottle of Coke by Gary Scump. Did you get ill from drinking it?
Yeah, sure did. It made me a little sick.
Gary's first thought was to call the local Coke bottling plant. He says he had to make several calls before someone finally came out to talk about it.
Well, he filled out a report, and in it he told me that that wasn't uncommon to find things in bottles that going through their wash cycle and stuff, that the water going through it, the bottles are turned upside down and water goes through them, he said. And some things that are lodged in like that just won't come out.
A third case I was contacted about came from Connie Karzuski, who found something in a sausage-type hot dog.
I was not optimistic when I left the health department at all. That's why I want to go back and pick it up again, because I want to find out what it is.
All three viewers felt they got the runaround when they reported their finds. In my checking, I found the State Department of Agriculture the best for reporting meat problems. They said they would check those wieners. In the case of soup, check with the local office of the Food and Drug Administration. They check food but not meat. For a beverage, call the local health department. They can inspect bottling procedures and local plants to see if there is a problem. I'm Brad Edwards, in your corner. What do you do when you buy a new car and there's something wrong with it? You take it back to the dealer. Well, it wasn't that easy for Karen Teeters. She bought her dream car, a Corvette, 13 months ago from Allen Merrill in Yukon. It was a demo, but came with full warranty. The paint was bad, and the dealer agreed to repaint it. He did, 6 times, and it still wasn't right. Karen says it still isn't right today after 8 paint jobs. Now, another dealer inherited the problem, Steve Bailey, when he bought Merrill's dealership. He tried to have it repainted and get the car back to Karen, but there are still problems, she says.
That paint job is the 8th paint job in 13 months, and it's still not right. They seem to be unable to locate what's the problem with my alarm system. Can't get that to work. Took the door panels off today, put that back together, and didn't do it right. My door handles are about to come off.
Is it worth $18,000 for this?
No.
Do you think Oklahoma needs a lemon law?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. State legislators in Connecticut and California are protecting citizens who run into similar problems there. It's called the lemon law. In Connecticut, new cars under warranty are lemons if they've been to a dealer 4 times for the same problem and still not fixed, or if your new car's been out of service for a total of 30 days due to 1 or more defects. If it's a lemon, first you go through arbitration if the manufacturer has such a program. If not resolved there, the owner goes straight to the manufacturer, who decides if you get a new car or you get a refund. It's a law in Connecticut and California. Why not ask your state legislators if they'll pass a lemon law for you? We're already looking into it. I'm Brad Edwards, in your corner. Fireplaces are popular in Oklahoma City, but many people wait until the weather turns freezing before they buy their firewood. That may be bad economics. According to those who sell the stuff, the price is much better now.
Well, picked up at the yard, it'd be $54.95. If it's delivered to them, it's $61.95 plus the tax.
And it'd be a little extra for seasoned wood?
Right. It runs on, $4 or $5 more.
Okay.
Something like that.
Now, prices may go up as the season goes on. What might they hit this year?
Well, I think they will go up. Of course, when the demand gets greater, you know, the price of wood goes up a little. Now, I don't know. The $61.95 wood will likely be $75 or $80.
Who in the world knows what a rick of wood looks like anyway? How do you know you didn't get ripped off? I mean, ripped off. Well, if the logs are about 2 foot in length, if the stack's about 4 feet high and 8 feet long, you've got a rick of wood. Or if you're an apartment or condo dweller with a storage problem, you might want to try a mini rick of wood, about 2 feet by 2 feet. Store it in the trunk of your car if you want, for an occasional fire at the apartment. Green wood burns rather slow, so you wouldn't want to get a full rick of green wood. You can tell it because it's lighter where it's been cut. Now, seasoned wood burns much faster, so you wouldn't want to get a full load of that. And you can tell it because it's darker on the end. It might be better to get a mixture so it won't burn too fast, but it will burn. A mixture would cost you about $65 delivered, $59 if you pick it up yourself. It's difficult to tell what you're buying, but look and ask for hardwood. It burns longer and better. The choice is better earlier in the season, and you can save $10 to $15 before prices go up after Christmas. I'm Brad Edwards, in your corner. The heat in electric blankets is controlled by little thermostats. They feel like little lumps throughout the blanket. So if the blanket gets bunched up, it could increase the heat, but if there's a thermostat there, it'll keep it from getting too hot, decrease the heat, and prevent fire. That's the problem. There have been some fires in the past and a few deaths. The old blankets only had 6 thermostats. The new ones have 12 thermostats, so no matter where the blanket bunches up, chances are there'll be a thermostat near it to keep that heat down and prevent fires. Of course, the larger blankets for larger beds will have even more thermostats. This is the result of federal reports showing 6,000 to 7,000 fires a year caused by electric blankets, most because consumers did not follow instructions. So blanket manufacturers, and there are only 3 of them, voluntarily adopted new safety standards, and consumer officials are delighted because electric blankets are a cheap way to stay warm at night.
If you use an electric blanket, it's probably going to cost you between 5 cents and 10 cents a night. And this way you can lower the thermostat and you can be warm as well.
The problem is finding out which blankets have the new safety standards. The manufacturers did not mark them.
That's so they can sell the ones that they already have in stock.
So when you shop for electric blankets, ask the salesperson if you can open the blanket and check for additional thermostats. The old blankets are not categorically unsafe, but the new ones are somewhat safer. I'm Brad Edwards in your corner.